I became interested in this area as a developmental pediatrician. I was working in several settings. I was working with young people who had school problems based on learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, and I saw a fairly large group of these kids that were also misusing substances. And at that point, it wasn't clear what services we could provide to that group. And so I became interested in coming up with new services located at a major children's hospital where we could serve this population. That's only part of the answer. The other part of the answer is, at this point in my career, I lived in a suburb of Boston. And on the street next to my house, there lived another doctor, professional colleague of mine, who had a son that was the same age as my own son. And like my own son, he had had ups and downs in his school performance, but he was basically a really good kid. He was our paper boy. There has been a custom in the town that we live in that young people will go up to these old granite quarries, an isolated part of the town, and drink on weekends. And this boy went up there one Friday night, became intoxicated, fell off the edge of the quarry into the quarry and drowned. I will never, ever forget watching the evening news and seeing videotape of this father, a physician colleague of mine, climbing into the back of an ambulance to identify the body of his son. I made a decision after I saw that I would do everything that I could to prevent that kind of tragedy from happening to anyone else, to any other young person and to any other family. It hit close to home. I realized, but for the grace of God, but for fortune, that could have been me. The greatest asset that I have is that I just love young people. I love teenagers. I love working with them. They're just the greatest group in the world. They're so bright, they're so motivated, they have so much promise, they have fresh ideas. I enjoy talking to young people. I hate to see the tragedies that take place when they get involved with alcohol and drugs. And I consider it a great privilege to try to work with them and to work with their families. There's so much that can happen if you can turn or help a young person turn their life around at an early age. The potential for that person is just enormous. It's a very rewarding age group to work with.